Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 32 of the Sunderland Till I Die series here on Football Manager 2021. And of course, if you are enjoying today's episode or any of the previous content that has been released on this channel, make sure you're doing one of these things. Hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell to be alerted when these videos are live. It really, really does help. And I greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate every single one of you for watching. It means a lot. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're playing a game that isn't a league game. It's the FA Cup first round against Accrington Stanley. They're in League 2. We're in League 1. Some would throw... What was that? What would you say? Accusations, that's the word. Some would throw accusations at me saying that I picked this game, a fairly easy game, on screen for a reason, based off my recent poor form on screen together. I don't know what they're on about. Absolute poppycock. Honestly, them accusations have no merit whatsoever. Obviously, if I do lose this game, this will be particularly embarrassing. However, you've got to always look on the positives, viewers. It's not the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me this year. Lost to a regional team as a professional team on my Twitch. So, I mean, if that isn't a reason to go over and watch this, then my Twitch, don't know what it is. But, go look at the positives. If we lose this game, it's not the most embarrassing thing. So, yes. Sorry, viewers. I've just come into my under-23 squad, and I've just realised, I don't know how I haven't spotted him before. Maybe I have, and I completely forgot about him, which is, quite frankly, terrible of me. We have a 5-star potential player within our ranks, and I didn't know about him. Dan Neal. Mr. Dan Neal. Do you start at Sunderland? You do, right. That is unfortunate, because what's happened there, Dan, you see, what's happened there is I have forgot about you, and I didn't realise how good of a player you could potentially become. And the problem we have now, Dan, is that you are 20 years old, and it doesn't look like you're going to really progress. So, I'm sorry, Dan, but you're going to have to stay in the under-20. You know what? No. He's going to play in the senior team. Dan Neal is going to make a redemption story. He's going to be the younger version of Jamie Vardy. Mark my words. And then, in terms of the rest of the rabble we have in our under-23s and under-18s, I mean, Peter Miller, defender, he's progressing very nicely. Peter Miller. I mean, Northern Irish, what a man. You're going to go into the first team as well. You look splendid. And then everyone else... Matthew Scanlan, he's progressing as well. I mean, I won't say our youth system is necessarily filled with talent, but hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, with our head of youth development, Mr... Do I not have a head of youth development? That's not going well. I didn't realise I lost my head of youth development. So, our future head of youth development, ladies and gentlemen, is Ian Beale's brother. I know, I couldn't believe my luck. We got someone in that is related to Ian Beale, John Beale. I'm telling you now, this man is going to be the person that brings us the next Messi, the next Ronaldo, the next Mbappe, and I can't wait to see the relationship we have with this man. John Beale, 15 ability, 15 potential, 18 working with youngsters. Me and him are going to have a magical relationship, and I can't wait to see the sort of youngsters he brings over to Crystal Palace and see how they develop. Unfortunately, we are going to have to wait till March to see what this guy brings in. But for me, I cannot wait. Ian Beale's brother, John Beale, it's fantastic. I'm so happy. I cannot wait. Arguably, I probably should have known if I had one in the first place, but it's worked out for the better because we've got Ian Beale's brother, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Beale's brother is at Sunderland. It's fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, how have we been getting on since the last episode, which was, of course, the Clash of the Titans match, Peterborough versus Sunderland, a top of the league matchup where unfortunately we did lose away from home 2-1. Our first loss in the league since the 27th of August. So we were on quite the unbeaten run, and thankfully we have managed to pick ourselves up since then. We've only played 3 games in the league, but we have continued the unbeaten trend, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that trend going for quite a while with 2 draws and 1 win, where that has kept us second in the league. As you can see, Peterborough are walking away with the league a little bit, still unfortunately, still unbeaten, which is quite remarkable really. 17 games played, still unbeaten. I highly doubt they're going to get through the entire season unbeaten. If they do, then they deserve to get promoted, but it's still very, very tight at the top of the table, where a loss in the next league game could see us drop as far down as 4th, potentially 5th or 6th if we lose a few games on the trot, which I just don't like how close it is. I really, really do not like how close it is. But the first match that you did miss since you were last here was a 1-1 draw at home against Rochdale. Rochdale are currently in 17th, so very much a mid-table side where we were only able to muster up a 1-1 draw, a point apiece. Carlos Benavides got himself on the score sheet. So Paul Digby. But how did our performance go? Let's find out. If you're expecting us to be the dominant side in a game that we're expected to win, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You are, unfortunately, way off. I did have that mentality and that thought process as well, as that at home against a pretty poor side, we'd be absolutely dominant and an easy 3 points. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way, where in this match, both sides were what can only be described as boring, and remarkably, both sides scored in the 51st minute. Rochdale did initially take the lead, but literally straight from kickoff, Benavides got himself on the score sheet. Thankfully, we didn't lose this game. If we did lose this game, that would have been a disaster. Benavides coming off at the substitutes bench as well to get himself on the score sheet. So you know what I call that? Tactical genius from myself. Tactical genius, I'm sure. A very weird match, I'm going to be honest with you. It was a very, very strange match. Both sides didn't really muster up anything remarkable or anything of note, as you can tell from the stats. 6 shots from us, 8 shots from Rochdale. Rochdale did have the better expected goals with less shots on target, but no team really looked like winning. I think both teams sort of, when it came to the latter stages of the game, I feel like both sides were pretty happy with a point. I wasn't. I was fuming because I was like, Rochdale, battling relegation, I'm assuming in 17th, right? I mean, yes, they are battling relegation. They're very close to the relegation zone, and for us to only muster a point from these lot was pretty annoying. But you know what? A point at this point of the season, we were able to keep our place in second. I can't be too harsh, I suppose. I can't be too harsh, especially coming off the back of a defeat. So maybe morale and team cohesion was a little bit on the rocks. Thankfully, we were able to go against Portsmouth in the next game. A home tie against Portsmouth where we were able to bounce back with a win. A 2-0 win where the attendance, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, the bloody attendance was through the roof. 34,000. I feel like that's the most fans we've had. No, Sheffield United in the Carabao Cup. We're rivals with Portsmouth, aren't we? I'm pretty sure we are. We are competitive. I'm pretty sure I forgot about that last year. But that explains the attendance, where thankfully we're able to get ourselves a win, a 2-1 win. Embleton and Pritchard getting themselves on the score sheet. Lovely stuff. Our performances may have been sliding a little bit against Peterborough and Rochdale with 2 disappointing results. But against Portsmouth, we were back to our best with a 2-0 victory. Not only a 2-0 victory, however, a 2-0 victory where we were very, very dominant in the match. We had the better of the match throughout the entire 90 minutes, and the stats very much reflect that. More shots, more on target, better possession, better passes completed. You can very much tell we were in Portsmouth half for pretty much the entire game, and it was Embleton and Pritchard getting themselves on the score sheet before half time, so both goals coming in the first half. Unfortunately, we weren't able to add to our lead in the second half. It would have been quite nice to get a few extra goals against a very, very poor Portsmouth side who are currently lingering mid-table, 14th. So they've had a very average start to the year. Would have liked a few extra goals to get the morale back up. But the only player not to get a positive rating was Harrop on a 6.7. And Portsmouth, well, what can only be described as pathetic. They were pretty bad. Not a single player got over a 6.5. No, sorry, Watmower and Chester and Smith, the only players getting over a 6.5, and Smith the best player getting a 6.8. So that very much concretes how poor Portsmouth were. So 3 points on the board. We're back to winning ways. Unfortunately, that didn't last very long with a 0-0 draw against Lincoln. This game against Lincoln had a very similar vibes of the Rochdale game, where, of course, in the Rochdale game, there was 2 goals. In this game against Lincoln, absolutely nothing happened. The only thing of highlight in this game was the 3 yellow cards. Not even kidding you, viewers. Despite the shots, no team looked like scoring. Of course, Lincoln, from the stats, had the better of the game. More shots and more expected goals. We were pretty poor on the night. Obviously, our defence getting some very, very good ratings. Lincoln also getting some good ratings in their defence. And they played a very interesting formation. I didn't realise this at the time, but they played a formation that the AI don't tend to play that often. A 5 at the... What do you call that? A 5 at the back? I suppose you call that a 5 at the back. A 5 at the back, 1 DM, 2 centre mids and 2 strikers. Interesting. I've never seen the AI play that formation before. I mean, if you've ever seen the AI in your saves play any weird formations, do let me know in the comment section, because I wouldn't necessarily say this is weird, but it's very unusual. Normally you'd expect like a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, or a diamond maybe. Not this beautiful monstrosity that I've just witnessed. But yeah, in this game, nothing happened. So 2 draws, 1 win, as I said before, has left us in second place. We're very much not going to catch Peterborough at this point unless they go on an absolutely horrendous run of form. Is this who I think it is? It's not. I was thinking of the Dortmund player then. I was like, how is he at Peterborough? How have Peterborough managed to get him? Have they won him in a raffle or something? Like, what's going on? But of course, in today's episode, we're having a break from the league. We're into the FA Cup first round at home to Accrington. It needs to be a win because Accrington are in League 2. So if we do lose this will be almighty embarrassing for myself. We've got... the game's today as well. So we'll go to the tactic and the squad selection. And we're going to do a little bit of rotating, viewers. We're going to give some of the players that perhaps on the cusp of the first team, a little bit outside the first team squad, they're going to have their chance today. And there's going to be new heroes in the making. We're going to put our faith in some players that haven't played that much. And of course, the Scottish legend is going to be playing. You thought he wouldn't be playing, but he is going to tear Accrington Stanley up. And he is currently improving, which is lovely to see. But going into today's game against Accrington Stanley, this is going to be your lineup for today. Lee Burge in goal. Unfortunately, we haven't got a second goalkeeper. So if Lee Burge gets injured, we are in the mud. Bailey Wright, Jimmy Dunn, Peter Miller and Miles Kenlock, a hero of the first season, Miles Kenlock, in as your back 4. Midfield trio of Ibrahima Kabebe, Jordan Rossiter and Luke O'Nine. And your attacking trio of Alex Pritchard, Embleton and McKenna. Of course, Pritchard and Embleton getting themselves on the score sheet in the past few games. We do want a few first teamers in this lineup. We don't want to go out there with a completely changed squad. Otherwise, they're just not going to know how to play with each other. So keeping a few first teamers like Dunn, Rossiter, Pritchard and Embleton. He'd even say McKenna, who hasn't played much this year, I don't think. I played him that much. I haven't. But of course, last year played quite a few games. So you'd very much consider him a sort of core of the squad at 17 years old. He hasn't had a great season, 6.43 average rating, but a few goals today, and that'll shoot right up, and he can potentially get a little bit of confidence back into him. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, into the game we go. I fully expect us to get a win here, despite the very heavily rotated squad. Peter Miller is making his debut. Is he a regen? He is, 18-year-old regen. When did he come in? 3 seasons ago, so he'll be looking to make an impact on his debut. He's actually pretty decent, to be fair. Mentally, he's fantastic. Technically, he's a bit terrible. Physically, he's okay. His acceleration lets him down, but mentally, he's a very smart footballer. It's just unfortunate that technically and physically, he's a bit inept. Okay, I expect a win in this game. I'd like us to... It's not top of my list of priorities to go on a cup run, but against Accrington Stanley, they haven't actually got a manager at the moment, so they are managerless. And that should very much work into our hands a little bit. And Pritchard and Luke O'Nien are already having negative thoughts. So we've got to fix this. We're favourites for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Go out there and make sure they're left in no doubt as to why we're the favourites. Right, no one cares. Fantastic. Exactly what I needed. Right, I'm always terrible at team talks. I don't know why. I'm so bad at team talks, it's ridiculous. Okay, a few players have got themselves motivated. We're able to turn Luke O'Nien around. Unfortunately, Pritchard is still feeling a little bit complacent, so maybe I have to keep an eye on that. Right, come on, boys. Early goal. Let's set ourselves early. Now, of course, in this game, there is a few players that can potentially put themselves in my mind a little bit. You know, you're looking at, as I said, the centre-back, which I've got the name of, Miller, Kenlock, Kabebe, O'Nien. Players that haven't really played, Bailey Wright, players that haven't really played that much, with a good performance here, could, you know, cause a little bit of headaches for me, which is a nice headache, I won't lie. And to be fair, this first half has been the most boring first half I've had all year, as there is a chance, unfortunately, it potentially looks like it's going to be for Accrington Stanley, as there's a ball over the top, he looks miles offside. AAR, ladies and gentlemen, Alex, assistant referee, better than VAR. Get it into every single match. He was miles offside. You could fit Chelsea's bus in between them lines. Learn the rules of the game, Bennett. Is that... who was that? What's his name? Neal Bennett. Okay, then. Learn the rules of the game, my man. Because that was atrocious from you there. As we do come towards half-time, it's been an absolutely fascinating first half. As we do our first chance of the game, and we let ourselves down with a very poor set piece, and we are a little bit out of position here. So Accrington Stanley could potentially make the most of it. It's a big punt upfield. We are able to get to it. McKenna, bloody hell, I tell you what, Feeney has gone into the tackle there. Nearly injuring. That's offside again. Surely it wasn't offside. What is our defensive line doing? Right. What are we doing, boys? That's twice that's happened. Use offside trap. Let's try and catch them offside a little bit more. Right, into half time. We haven't had a single chance. We haven't had a single chance of note. Accrington Stanley have been the better side. I don't really want to use any of my first teamers. You're looking at the likes of Benavidez, Josh Scowen, Dan Neal's on the substitutes bench, so maybe it's his time to become a hero. But I think I'm going to leave it for now. We're not going to panic just yet. Obviously, if we go a goal down, then we are going to be panicking quite a lot. And it's been a very boring game, it must be said. One offside goal, and, I mean, 2 balls over the top, really. So maybe I should be... I mean, I have absolutely screwed that up, so fantastic. Maybe I should drop my line a little bit to try and counter that over the top through ball, and maybe change one of my centre-backs to cover, just to try and nullify their very direct style of play, it must be said, for Accrington Stanley. As the second half does kick off, and I'm looking at the average ratings, and it's very even, despite the chances Accrington have had, and nothing's really happening. And here we go. Oh, Jimmy Dunn is currently off the pitch with an injury, which isn't going to help us. It's a header in, and Bennett with his first proper chance of the game that isn't offside, as there's a lot more chances in the second half. Sykes, a ball over the top again. We've dropped the line to nullify that, and it's worked superbly there. Unfortunately, we're not able to get to the second ball. Burgess, are we going to nick the ball? We do. Kabebe, he's got a fantastic chance. He's got... God damn it. Why didn't you sweaty it, Kabebe, or whatever? I don't know how to say your name. Kabebe. You've got to sweaty that across, my man. We had 2 players that were open, and you've decided to shoot. You absolute silly sausage. Right. Josh Scowen on for Luke O'Nien. Yeah, let's do that. We'll bring Benavidez on for Kabebe, because he's been very poor as well. And he's annoyed me after the shot he's just done, to be fair. Ross Stewart on for McKenna. McKenna, another disappointing game from him. Very much going out the limelight a little bit. He's got fantastic potential, and he thinks he's able to... I mean, goalkeeper, he could have picked that up, but okay. McKenna having a little bit of a weird season. He hasn't really featured that much. And with the potential he's got a lot of developing to do, as I don't want a replay. Don't give me a replay. Please, let's score from here. Pritchard, it's got to be now. Miller! What is going... I do not know what's just happened. As full-time whistle does blow. Is this going to go to extra time? Oh, for the love of God, exactly what I needed. Right, okay, going into extra time, we have made all 3 substitutes. I think we can make an extra 1, I believe. We can. Right, we're going to bring on Neal. He's got 5-star potential. We spoke about him earlier on in the episode, and he could potentially make himself a cult hero here. And I'm going to say I'm far from pleased because I'm not happy. I don't want this to go to penalties again. It'll be the most anticlimactic penalty shootout you've ever seen in your life. Right, we're going to thrash arms. No, hands together. Hands together, everyone. Hands together like this. Together. The ability to make a real difference. Come on. I don't want it to go to penalties. I mean, going to extra time is bad enough. And I tell you what. Oh, they've gone to penalties. I was so concerned there. Confused. I saw a game that was currently going on besides ours. And there's about 4 penalties in 1 minute. But they've gone to a penalty shootout. As there is a chance. And I tell you what, Accrington and Stanley have had the better of the game. And it's a ball through Mitchell. A good save from Burge there. Can we get rid of it? Jimmy Dunn is currently suffering from a little bit of a knock, which is a little bit of a concern. And a lot of, blimey, talking Stockport, I don't know if it's still going on, the penalty shootouts. We do go into the second half of extra time. Right, let's go a bit more attacking. We've got to risk it for a biscuit, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to risk it for a custard cream or a jammy dodger or what other biscuit of your choice. As we are going to demand more and encourage. We're going to do that in quick succession in the hope that we can get ourselves a goal before penalty shootout. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, right then. It's going to penalties, is it? Fantastic. Right. Jamie McAllister, you can sort this out. Team talk. I mean, as you will know, I do not like penalties for obvious reasons. Bishop, right. Come on. Let's get this game over and done with. Bishop. Can he miss early on? He doesn't. He scores. Accrington Stanley get the advantage. And we do have Ross Stewart off the bench. Can he get himself an early goal through the penalties? And he does. And it's a nice slotted penalty. The goalkeeper is never getting to that. Brown. Oh, I really hate penalties on this game. Not going to lie. Brown. It's a very short run up. And it's an absolutely fantastic penalty. As the goalkeeper there was celebrating like nobody's business. He was happy. Pritchard. Come on, mate. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me. You've not disappointed me. Cracking penalty there. As it's 2-2. Butcher. Hopefully he's going to butcher his penalty. Butcher. Moving on. Butcher. Miss. Oh, Burge. You literally could have got your hands to that. For God's sake. It literally had... It literally touched your fingertips there. Scowen. It's just disappointment and tears, viewers. It's just disappointment and tears. Burgess. Got to save it. Oh, it's a great penalty. Accrington and Stanley have been doing some penalty training, clearly. We haven't. And it looks like, if we miss this, who's it down to? It's Neal. Oh, no. Neal with an opportunity to keep us in the game or knock us out of the FA Cup very, very early on against the League 2 side. Let's go. Right. Burge has to be the hero here. He has to save this penalty. Sheriff coming towards the ball. Can we be the highwayman of his... I don't know where I was going with that. It was meant to be a cool analogy. It didn't work. Sheriff. Burge, make yourself a hero, man. Make yourself a hero. Oh. It's just disappointment. It's just disappointment, viewers. A League 2 side has just knocked us out of the FA Cup. Why are we so terrible at penalties? Why? Why are we so bad? Maybe I underestimated Accrington a little bit there. Oh, how long's he out for? Bruce Shin, are you kidding me? McKenna vows to end goal drought and Scowen will step up again. You won't, because we're never doing penalties ever again. Have we actually won a penalty shootout in this series? I don't think we have. I literally don't think we've won one single penalty shootout. Maybe I need to do more penalty training. Because it's getting a little bit of a concern here that we are very much like England in the sense that we just never win a penalty shootout. And if we go into the playoffs again And I will lose my marbles if we lose another penalty shootout in the playoffs. I won't be able to deal with that. Literally won't be able to deal with that again. Oh, viewers. It's a disappointing result, I won't lie to you, but on the grand scheme of things, am I absolutely gutted? Not really, because despite the financial gain we could have got from going further in the FA Cup, it's extra game. It's less games, right, in the season, so it allows us to focus on the league. We do have another cup competition coming up against Wigan in the Northern Section Group E. I think we already qualified in that. We did, yes. Okay, so that game doesn't really matter. Right, where are we going to come back for in the next episode? I'm thinking we want... Oh, that Oxford game is very, very tempting. I won't lie to you, but we're not going to come back that soon. Or do we? That Oxford game, 5th. That'll be a very, very interesting game. Or do we come back for the Coventry game? Decisions, everyone. Decisions. I think what we're going to do, we're going to come back for the Doncaster game. So I'm going to completely ignore the both suggestions I put forward to myself. And we're going to go with the Doncaster game. We've got 5 games in between now and then. 4 in the league. 1 in the Northern Section Trophy Papa John's thing. And we've got a few games in the league, so we'll be able to see if we're continuing our decent run of form in the league competition. So, of course, thank you all so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate all the support, as always. I do apologise if this sounds a little bit weird. Today, I am currently a little bit ill, so that'll be why maybe my voice sounds a little bit groggy, or maybe I'm not as shouty or hyper. It's just because I'm currently suffering from a bit of an illness. So I do apologise for that. But please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you have enjoyed the episode. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.